My dad was born in Mississippi and migrated to Marion, Arkansas. He was a farmer, raised some animals, but mainly was just farming work. His name was Phil Phillips. He said he just barely made enough to live on. He did not want that kind of life for his children, and so he just decided that we were going to move to Fort Wayne. He had a sister who had already migrated here. My mother passed away when I was 13 years old. My dad had a basic education, like 3rd grade maybe, and my mother read the Bible to him. He was able to remember what she had read and then to tell us about the scriptures after my mother had passed away. Well, my dad never did talk about the harsh things that maybe he had experienced. Living in Mississippi back in the 1900s, I'm sure my dad suffered a lot. I think he kind of protected us from some of the severe things that he had experienced himself. He told us always to treat everyone like you want to be treated and not to hold grudges, because holding grudges, it only destroys you. And so that's basically how we lived, and not blind to what was going on, but just say, hey, I'm not going to buy into this. I'm going to go by my faith, and I'm going to live the way that God wants me to live, not what somebody say how I should live. We were living in the downtown area. That's what I remember most about growing up. There were people of all races at that time that lived there. So I became friends with a lot of people of different races and grew up with them. I was basically middle 20s during all of that. And of course I knew what was going on. And thank God I never experienced the type of injustice that I saw daily on the TV. You couldn't help but to see it. It was everywhere, and I suspect some here. Dr. King was trying to make everybody's life just have equal opportunities, if you will. The I Have a Dream speech, I can almost hear it word to word even after all these years, because when I looked at Dr. King that particular day, I saw something in his eyes that I had never seen before. He talked about, with all the things that he had done to advance the civil rights cause, he stated that I may not be around to see it. He said, because my eyes have seen the coming of the Lord. And when I look, I can see his eyes now, how they were like he had an encounter, that he knew that his time was short. But he was telling the rest of the world and African Americans and everybody else, don't give up your faith and your belief. Don't give it up. I may not be around to enjoy it with you, but just stay on the path. When I hear that speech, it just, it's almost mesmerizing to me. This is the Lorraine Hotel where Dr. King was assassinated in. My mother's sister, she lived in Memphis. 3 months after Dr. King was shot, July 1968, and I wanted to go to the grounds where he was assassinated. I just wanted to see for myself. What really got my attention in that speech is when Dr. King started talking about justice rolling down from the mountainsides. That is really one of my favorite parts, because I can visualize justice, God's justice, all over the world, rolling down the mountains wherever there's injustice.
You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
And that just really touched me because it just brings me to a peaceful place, and knowing that whatever happens in life, God's justice and God's will is always with us. You know, it's always there. He's there with us in good times and bad. I'm not saying be overjoyed with bad times. No, nobody's going to be overjoyed, but it only lasts for a moment, or however you're willing to let it go. With your faith, you can, even when the mountains are high, you can climb them because you're not in your own power. You're in the power of God. And to me, you can't have any greater person leading and guiding you if you would just follow his teachings and, don't give in to every wind that blows, because in life, as you well know, you're going to have a lot of them. So you can't give in. You just keep thinking, God is my anchor, and he's going to see me through whatever it is that I have to go through.